Sadguru Sharanam. Hi everyone. Today I am here with another chapter, the Earth's neighbors. And you know, in the night sky we can see the stars and the moon, and also daytime we can see the sun. These are our neighbors. That is, the sun, moon and the stars are our neighbors. The sun, moon and the stars are our neighbors. And first we are going to discuss about the sun. What are the uses and how it is important for us. That is, we are going to say. You know, during the daytime you can see the sun, and when the sun rises you get light, and when the sun sets it becomes dark. The sun is a huge ball of hot gases. Sun is a huge ball of hot gases, and it is the center of our solar system. What is the solar system? The sun and the planets comes together to form the solar system. The sun is the center of our solar system, and these planets that move around the sun, all these planets that move around the sun, and it is very important for us. That is, the sun is very important for us because it gives us heat and light. The sun is important because it gives us heat and light. Secondly, plants prepare their food in the presence of sunlight. Plants prepare food in the presence of sunlight. Thirdly, it is the important source of all energy. It is the important source of all energy. That is why the sun is very important to us. And the energy that is obtained from the sun is the solar energy. The energy that obtained from the sun is the solar energy, and we can use this solar energy to cook food and to light up the streets, to run cars, etc. Well, here I am going to show you how the light works here with the help of a solar energy. This is a solar panel, and during daytime I charge this panel with the help of sunlight, and at times when I need this, I can connect this panel to this lamp. I can lit the light. Without this panel we can't light this. That is, only with the energy obtained from the sun we can light this lamp. That is a solar lamp. This lamp is a solar lamp. It works with the help of this solar energy. Okay, now we learned about the sun, and the sun is a huge ball or a huge ball of hot gases, and is much bigger than the earth. It is much bigger than the earth, and it is the center of our solar system, and all the planets moves around the sun. That is, this earth. Earth is one among the solar system. We know in the earth we are living in, and this is the model of the earth, and this earth is also rotating its own axis and rotating around, moving around the sun. That is, we already said that all the planets move around the sun, and it is important to us. Why? The sun is very important to us. Why? Because it gives us heat and light, and it is the source of energy, and also plants prepare food with the help of sunlight. And what is the solar energy? Solar energy is that the energy obtained from the sun, and we can use this solar energy to light the lamps, to cook food and for run cars. And now we are going to know about another neighbor, that is the moon. Moon is another important neighbor, and when we see the sun and the moon from the earth, we can see that is equal in shape and also in size. But the moon is smaller than, much smaller than the sun. Then why it is equal in size with the sun? Because it is the closest neighbor of the earth. The moon is the closest neighbor of the earth. That is why it seems the same size of the sun. Sun is much bigger and the moon is smaller, and it is nearest to the earth. That is why we can see it in a bigger size. And it is the satellite of the earth, natural satellite of the earth. Moon is the natural satellite of the earth. Then what is a satellite? Do you know? Satellite is a body in the space that moves around the planet. We already said that the planets move around the sun. Like that, the satellites, they move around the planets. That is a satellite. And here the only one natural satellite of the earth is the moon, and it has no light of its own. Moon has no light of its own. You can see it as brighter in the sky at night. It gets the light of the sun. That is why we can see it as brighter. And only the portion of the earth gets the light from the sun, only the part of the moon that is visible to us, that gets the sunlight. Other parts we can't see. That is why on different days we can see the moon on different shapes. Not always it has the same shape. It is different day by day. There is only few parts of the moon gets the sunlight, and then only that part we can visible there. And moon has no light. No light, no air. So there is no life in the moon. Moon has no air. We need air and water for our life, and here in the moon there is no air. So life is not possible in the moon. We discussed the next neighbor, moon. Moon is the natural satellite. It is very closer to the earth, and it moves around the earth, and it has different shape because only the part that gets the sunlight can be visible for us, and it has no air. It has no life. That is about the moon. And next neighbor, that is the stars. And in the smaller classes itself you learned about the stars, that is twinkle twinkle little stars. Your rhymes starting with that. And at the night sky, all the stars are twinkling in the sky, and there are number of stars. And moon and sun, we can see only one sun and only one moon, but stars are countless. We can't count these stars. They are numberless, and some stars are much brighter than the others, and one such star is the pole star. And it is, we can see it as very small one, but it is a huge one, and it is far away from the earth. That is why we can see it as a small one. Stars are very huge one, but we can see as tiny one because they are far away from the earth. And some stars, they come together to form patterns, and these patterns are like the figures of animals, human beings, or any other things. And these patterns are called constellations. These patterns are called constellations. Here are some constellations, and the clearest constellation is the Great Bear or the Ursa Major. The clearest constellation is the Ursa Major or the Great Bear, otherwise it is known as the Saptarshi. And here it is the pictures of some constellations. Look here, these are the constellations. Constellation, listen the spelling, C-O-N-S-T-E-L-L-A-T-I-O-N-S, constellations. These are the patterns of constellations. Some of the stars come together to form a pattern. Here this pattern is known as the Great Bear. It is the clearest star or clearest constellation. Otherwise it is known as Ursa Major or the Saptarshi. 7 stars are here. That is why it is known as the Saptarshi. And this is another one, that is Scorpius, and this is the Orion. All these are the constellations. This is the pole star. It is the most important or the brightest star. We can see it in the northern side, and with the help of this pole star we can identify the direction. In the previous chapter we learned about directions, north, east, west and south, for identifying the map, and for the sailors they are using these stars. Mainly sailors they are using these stars. Then you become doubtful. Last day in the last class I told you about the compass. Before the compass they used this pole star to identify the direction. Pole star always in the northern side, then they can easily identify the other directions. But these are the constellations. This is Ursa Minor, this is Ursa Major or the Great Bear, Scorpius, Orion and so many other constellations are there, and here only few I mentioned it. Okay children, now we learned the neighbors of the earth, that is the sun, the moon and the stars. The sun, it is a huge ball of hot gases and it is the center of the solar system. It is much bigger than the earth and it is important to us because it gives us heat and light. It helps plants to prepare their food and it is the important source of energy. And the energy obtained from the sun, we can use it for various purposes, and this energy is known as the solar energy. And another neighbor is the moon. It is the closest neighbor of the earth and also it is the natural satellite and it is very close to the earth, that is why we can see it as a bigger one. And satellite that moves, the bodies that moves round the planets, and the moon has no heat or light of its own and it gets its lights from the sun. Only the part gets the sunlight can be visible from the earth. It has no air and no life. And the stars, another neighbor, there are countless of stars and it is also very huge, much far from the earth. That is why we can see it as a small one and it has heat and light of its own, that is it is twinkling. And sometimes there is a group of stars we can see, and this group of stars forms patterns of animals, people or things. These patterns are called constellations. Important constellations are Great Bear, that is the clearest constellation, otherwise it is known as Saptarshi. Another one Orion, Ursa Minor, Leo, Scorpius, all these are the constellations. And another important stars among this is the pole star. Always we can see this pole star in the north, and in the ancient times people used this to know the direction. We know, once we identify any of the direction, we can identify the other directions easily. That is why in the ancient period people use this. Is it clear? Now in this chapter we learned all the three things and you can observe all these things in your night sky. Thank you all.